Hello everybody, how you doing today? And welcome once again to our daily dose of English. If you haven't heard about the daily dose yet, well, I'm sorry for you because it's really a cool project. The Daily Dose project is a project where every day I sent out an expression, a phrasal verb, and a business vocabulary, as well as some, listening tips or English tips and stuff like that. So this is for advanced students, upper intermediate, advanced, and fluent English speakers. So if that is your case, stick around and let's get started. The expression of the day today is the expression, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. What that means, basically, guys, is that I have no idea or I don't know what it is. So if you say you ask me a question, how long will it take for this project to end? And I say, well, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. It basically means I have no idea, or something to the effect that I know as much as you do, right? Like I know as much as you do. The information you have is the information I have. So we use that expression, your guess is as good as mine. So somebody could ask you like, hey, IT people, right? What the hell happened to the server? And then you could just say, well, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. I don't know what happened to the server. So that is the expression, your guess is as good as mine. For the phrasal verb of the day, we have the phrasal verb brighten up. Brighten up is to brighten up, is to make a place or a thing more cheerful, more beautiful, more alive, right? So let's say that I get an apartment, and this is an old apartment. It's old, it's dirty, it needs a paint job or whatever it is. So my wife and I, we paint the apartment, we clean the apartment, and then when you come to visit us, you could say, wow, you guys have brightened up the place. You have brightened up the place. It means you have made the place look nice, look better, right? So to brighten up something is to make some place look better, look more alive, look more cheerful, okay? You can also use the verb brighten up metaphorically, like somebody, a pretty lady comes into a party. You could say, wow, she brightened up the room, right? She brightened up the room. She made the room more beautiful, more elegant, right? Every time she walks into a room, it just brightens up the room, right? It makes the room look alive and more beautiful. So that is the phrasal verb brighten up. For the business vocabulary, we have the word badge. Yesterday in my podcast, I talked about tailgate, right? If you haven't heard the podcast, yesterday's podcast, you can go to my YouTube channel, or you can go to my LinkedIn profile and then look for my latest posts. It's going to be there. Tailgate is basically when you walk into a building, when you access a building without badging, without using your badge. And what is your badge? Your badge is your identification card, right? So usually when you start working for a company, they take your photograph and they give you this ID card. It has the name of the company, your photograph, your serial number. Maybe there's a barcode or some RFID tag or something, right? So usually you use that badge to open the doors, right? There you have to swipe it, and then you get the doors open. So that is a badge, right? Now you can also use the term ID or ID, company ID. That's okay too. But most companies that I've ever been to, they use the term badge. Okay? Now, coincidentally, badge is also the term used to describe police identification. So when you have a police officer, usually they have a star, right? A metal star, like a sheriff from the Western movies. I don't know if you guys like Western movies. I loved Western movies, right? So, Gary Cooper and some of the old folk. Anyway, this was, they usually had a star made of metal, and that was their badge, right? So a badge is a police identification too. Sometimes it's a shield, sometimes it's a star, depends on the state. But basically, a badge is also a police identification. Okay? Now, for the tip of the day, the listening tip, the tip of the day, I want to talk to you about listening. I have had students come to me and say, what do I do to improve my listening skills? And then I tell them, well, you should listen to more English, right? Listen to this podcast, for example, which most of my students don't. Listen to American television programs, listen to YouTube interviews or podcasts like the Joe Rogan podcast or, whatever, Obama's interviews, whatever. You just go to YouTube and you find whatever you want. But the idea is you can do that with the subtitles in English, right? So like a movie on Netflix. You're going to watch a movie on Netflix. You can just put the subtitles in English. So then you can associate the sound you hear with the subtitle. Okay? So I think that's a great tip, right? Wake up in the morning, listen to a podcast in the morning. Get your brain started. Get your brain going with the English fluids, Get started with a little bit of English in the morning. Listen to a podcast. And then people say, but I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, you do. You do have time. You don't have the will. Time you do. You don't have the will to do it. So that's basically my recommendation, right? What I do in the morning is I listen to a couple podcasts. So I put it on my phone. I start it, playing on the phone, and I go have a shower. So while I'm having a shower, I'm listening to the podcast, right? So while I'm getting changed, I'm listening to my podcast. Then I get everything and I go to the kitchen, make breakfast. As I'm making breakfast, I'm listening to the podcast, right? So that's the idea. And every time you watch something on YouTube, whatever it is, make sure to have that in English and with subtitles in English. That is the listening tip that I can give you today. Okay? So, I hope you like this podcast. And if you do, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like this podcast, there is nothing I can do. I guess you don't like. No problem then. But if you do, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're interested in having classes, English, conversation, business classes, focused on your needs, private classes, let me know. Send me a message and we can talk. I'm sure I can help you. I have had long experience in the corporate world, in the IT world, so I can help you get to a very nice level of English. So I appreciate once again. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.